What time is it? It's Wend Wellness workout time! Let's go! Today is a great day. And why is it a great day? Well, we're always happy, no reason not to be, but we're extra happy today because I have a nephew. He was born last night, little Tommy, and I can't stop smiling, all last night, and since I woke up, and I'm so excited to spend time with him. And when he gets older, maybe he'll see this one day if Instagram still exists, or whatever. And one day we'll be doing a workout together. So, future Tommy, what's up, man? You're probably a stud. All right. So, I just wanted to say something about that. And I'm so happy for my sister and Nick. And I love you guys so much. Another member of the family. And it's an amazing thing. And he's a beautiful child. And we're all so happy. So, just filled with joy. So this one's for you today, Tommy, and Casey, Nick, and the family. But, Tommy, thinking of you, buddy. All right. So, having said that, it is backpack back attack day. So, we're attacking the back. Good. With good old friend here, our backpack. And let's aim for 15 to 20. That's usually around the weight range we aim for. I do want to say, though, please start with less from now on in your backpack day. And what I want you to do, usually people don't do this live as much as they do after anyway, so you can pause, right, and go back. So start a little bit lighter. If it feels too easy, just give it a pause, put some more weight in, and keep going. But make sure you can do it with great form first. As light as you need to make it to be able to do that, right? We don't sacrifice form for a rep. We don't want to make it too heavy and hurt ourselves. Also, if you want gloves, get gloves. I have a different backpack today with some good padding on it, so I don't have any gloves. So I don't really need them today, which is pretty cool. But, so that's good. Also, you need a chair. You'll need it for a couple moves. And let's get through them and get rocking and rolling. After, we're going to talk about diabetic kidney disease, nephrotic disease, right? Diabetic nephropathy. Yeah, that's what the same shit is. All the root words are the same. All right. So first up, you're going to be bent. Now, throughout these moves where you're standing, okay, I'll show you from the side. I want you bent like this. Now, you see the arch here? Now, that's big because we don't want to get hurt, right? So we're not going to be all the way over. We're going to be kind of here, all right? But again, stick the butt out, arch the back for all these moves, whether you're pulling like this, okay? Keep it stiff, and so we don't get hurt, right? And so first up, we're going to start with the chair, and you'll have one knee on, and you're in a pronated grip, right? And you are going to simply row. Then we'll do it neutral, same arm. And then we'll do it supinated grip for the third one. Then with the same arm, we'll come off the chair and we'll do our supinated single arm, pulling it into our belly, okay? And so what's the difference with hitting all these different angles, right? Whether you pull it here, here, here. So as a general rule of thumb, push workouts or, chest and tries. Pull workouts, as we know, are back and buys, right? And whatever you're pushing or pulling perpendicular to is generally the muscle group you're hitting, right? So in this case, had we gone, when we're bent over and we're coming up here, we're hitting more superior muscles. When we come here, we're perpendicular to what? Lower muscles. when we come down here, we're hitting even further down, right? So there you go. Also, if you could think of it, in the gym, if you were to, say, do a row with a really wide grip thing, it seems more difficult, right? You're not recruiting as large a muscle groups. And if you could grab a nice tight grip thing, it seems a little easier. And that's why we're going to start with wider grip stuff, and then we're going to end with the closer grip stuff as we get more tired, because the weight's a common denominator. It's not changing, right? Unless you need to drop it, of course, to keep good form. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. What's going on? What up, Bertha Flores? What up, MMA 90K and Nishi? All right. Thanks for tuning in. So those are the first four. Again, ending with this bent over. I just wanted to explain that because I think it's an important principle we haven't mentioned. And then we'll do them all for the other side. And that's it for the unilateral stuff. Next up we have, like we said, our wide grip first, our straps. And we're going to first pull to the chin. So we're going to be bent like this, right? Arch back. Pulling up to the chin. To the chin. And when I say to the chin, I mean the portion of the backpack that has all the weight in it, right? So there's nothing in this. So it's the bottom pretty much coming to my chin, okay? Next, we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to move down a little bit, and we're going to pull it to the chest. Then we're going to do the same thing and pull it to the upper abdomen. Then we're going to do the same thing and pull it to the lower abdomen, or even near the groin, right? To hit slightly different muscle groups. Then we're going to do the same thing with the hook grip, right? To the chin, to the chest. Then we'll go stomach. Then we'll go lower stomach until the groin. All right. Let's have fun today. Let's get it, Tommy. What do you say? All right. 1 minute. We'll get going here. Again, start with lighter weight. And you can always put more weight in, right? And first you're going to be knee on the chair, pronated grip. Taps the ground, comes up. Now neutral. You see the elbow plane, the elbow breaks the back plane here, right? And then flip it to supinated. It's just tapping, coming up. Now you'll stand, hunch over. A single supinated pull. The elbow still breaks the plane, right? Other side. Pronated grip. Coming up at about the level of the chest. We got our neutral. And supinated. This one comes lower, around the abdomen. It's coming up. Come forward and bend. And the rest of our moves, we'll be standing. You can put this hand on that leg to stabilize if you'd like. We're gonna grab the straps, and we're gonna pull up, arch back to the chin. Now to the chest. Feeling that already. Now to the abdomen. Oh yeah. Keep that back tight. And now to the belly or the groin. Nice job, you guys. You're gonna put it down. You're gonna grab the hook, chin. To the chest. You can go supinated for these lower ones. I like to be. It's up to you, whatever's comfortable. Come into the abdomen. Now to the lower. And it's just tapping, coming up. Just holding yourself like that. Just holding yourself. Oh man, with your back flexed like that, you feel it. What's up, Sammy boy? What's up, buddy? I have a nephew, Sam, as of last night. Isn't that cool? Uncle Shane, once again, crazy Uncle Shane. That's me. One down. Good job. We'll start with that other side this time, right? So what did we start with last time? Yeah, we'll start with this side. Pronated. Tap and pull. Turn it so your hammer grip. And now, supinate. Come forward. Bend. Supinate. Pull. Nice and arched, right? Other side, other side. Hammer. Supinated. Forward, bend, pull. straps to the chin. Oh. The chest. Choke up on if you need to. Ah, to the upper abdomen. To the lower. We're going to do the straps again. We're going to come up to the chin. To the chest. To the abdomen. And to the lower abdomen or groin. It's not that easy. Good job. 2 down, man. Whew, we're feeling it already, huh? Holy cannoli. Man. Just, that low back from holding it. I'm gonna try to keep the weight. Oh man, may have to drop it soon. Pronated grip and row. Hammer or neutral grip, aka. Grip pull. Hammer grip low. Pull. Other side, you guys. Neutral grip. you notice, I'm coming slow on the way down. It's to emphasize the eccentric contraction. It's the strongest part is the way down. It builds the most muscle. That negative or eccentric movement. Lengthening of the muscle. Bend over. Other side. Pronate. Hammer. Supinated. Forward. Oh. 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 Oh my God. We're gonna do our bilateral first this time. Yeah. Choke up on the straps, up to the chin. To the chest. Look up at me, it might help keep your back arched. To the abdomen. To the groin. Lower abdomen. Reset. Again, chin. Oh. This is brutal. Chest. Abdomen. Upper, that is. Come here. Two around your xiphoid process. Your sternum. And lower abdomen. Okay. Hammer. Keep that back arch. Lower abdomen. You're almost done with your fourth circuit. Good job, you guys. 4, Sugar with Mercy. How you doing? Oh, mercy, mercy me. All things ain't what they used to. Just reminded me of that song. Marvin Gaye, man, he was great. He was great. You guys got one more or what? You got one more in you? I think you do. I know you do. You got one more. Easy money. Then we're going to talk about mesangial cells and podocytes and renal failure. It's fun stuff. I know you can't wait. Choke up on those straps. Pull them into the chin. Again, chin. Literally tapping the chin. Chest. Chest again. Upper abdomen. Again. You guys are doing so good. Last circuit. Let's go. Lower abdomen. Face your palms toward me. Supine. Again. Single stuff. Pronated. Neutral. Supinated. Other side. Oh my God. You guys are so close. Keep going. Neutral. Supinated grip. Bend forward, pull to the belly. Now hold it. Hold it. 5, almost there, 7, 8, 9, 10. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Stay with me. 1, 2. Put it down if your form's going. 4, 5. This is for you, Tommy. 10 more. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. One for good luck. One for my other knees. Oh, done. Ah. Ah. Hey, Troy. Oh, hey, Nidam. Good job. Really good job. We'll be back in 30 seconds to talk about kidney failure and diabetes. All right. Let's move this thing. Oh my God, godforsaken thing. All right, great job, you guys. That was tough. That was good. That was all back, a lot of rows. Very nice. The biceps should be feeling it too, right? Like we said, with that pull workout. And so, today on the menu, diabetic kidney disease, or diabetic nephropathy. Now, diabetes is the leading cause of end-stage renal disease in the world, okay, among developed countries. So that's one big thing. You could see how impactful it is. Now, before we get into it, before kidney transplants and stuff like that, usually the heart becomes an issue. So we'll talk more about that tomorrow, but just to see the big picture, kidney is serious, but heart, more, and even more so, and that goes first. So, this could happen with type 1 or type 2 diabetes. And why? Well, they both got sugar in the blood, right, people? We know that. We've been talking about it for about a week now. And so, first I want to get a few basic definitions down. And we're going to talk about the mechanism by which this happens, by which the kidney gets damaged in diabetes, and how we get to end-stage renal failure, renal disease. And tomorrow, we're going to talk about some symptoms and treatment, okay? Medication and lifestyle, all right? So let's think. Here is what we call a glomerulus. And there are a million of these in one kidney. So think this is like a really small scale, okay? And this glomerulus is a ball filled with tiny little capillaries, all right? So blood's gonna go to the kidneys, to the glomeruli, plural for them, and then it's gonna leave and the blood goes into circulation, but whatever goes through this glomerulus, its job is filtration. And it filters through to what's on the other side, the Bowman space, okay, or the urine, okay? And so let's talk about what we have going on in the glomerulus a little bit. So make it a ball because that's shown as how it's shown mostly in pictures, right? And so this is, we'll say, one capillary inner wall here. And that's our endothelium, and we know that. And then we'll picture this middle portion as the basement membrane, and this outer portion is the epithelium. And then out here is the urine, so bloodstream, urine, right? And so what happens is first off, we have a couple major players. When we have the endothelium right here, I'll show you from this side, right? And our basement membrane, amongst those and interconnected there are what are called our mesangial cells, Then we have on the other side, also connected to the basement membrane, but from the other side, so the urine side more, we have, also known as Bowman's space, where the filtrate is produced, or the urine. We have what are called podocytes. And when you think of podocyte, think of like an octopus, right? And so this podocyte has these tentacles, right? But these, we're gonna call, my fingernails, my tips of my fingers, are its feet. So they're called foot processes, all right? So these foot processes are attached through the epithelium to the basement membrane, okay? And look what's in between them. You see these little spaces, these little slits? Well, those are called filtration slits. And so these are necessary things to understand, to get down to understand why everything's happening and what's going on. So we always explain why. And then don't forget on our other side, from the inside, right, we have those mesangial cells filling in this space, right? And so the blood coming to the kidneys, to a glomerulus, or all the glomeruli, to one is the afferent arteriole. Now you'll remember afferent is going towards something, coming back to the kidney, right? Coming to it. And just like our afferent sensory signals, right? They go up the back of our spinal cord to our brain, and then efferent goes out. Efferent goes out and makes you do motor things, right? From the front, goes out. So what do we think? What's the one that leaves, okay? Well, the afferent comes to it, and then the efferent arteriole leaves it and goes to the rest of the body. To whatever was not filtered in the urine is going to leave through that efferent arteriole and go to the body, such as things like larger molecules or proteins that can't diffuse through this endothelium. So normally they can't, right? The blood comes through. What's up, Ma? What's up, Maria? Thanks for tuning in, guys. And now if you'll see these little, this is good if I get close. You see these wrinkles on my finger, right? Now picture they're really small. And again, this is our glomerulus, excuse me. And this is our endothelium. And so these would be little pores, okay? And picture they go through this way, right? But they're small. And then what we have here, the basement membrane, is negatively charged. And so a combination of these pores in the endothelium being small and this basement membrane being negatively charged will repel larger molecules and negatively charged proteins, because negative doesn't like negative. So when it comes, it goes, nope, go through the efferent arterioles and go to the body. We don't want to pee you out. We want to use you. And so when we talk now about, we have our premises down, when we talk about diabetes, whether it be type 1 or type 2, this blood is flowing through that afferent arteriole. It gets to these capillaries in the glomerulus, but this blood is full of what? Sugar. Big problem, sugar, right? Why? Because insulin's not doing its job, taking it to the tissues. We've got buildup of sugar in the blood. No bueno, crud in the blood, diabetes. So, all this sugar in the blood then, it comes through and it goes through the efferent arteriole to the rest of the body. But what happens is the walls of the efferent arteriole get glycated. And you'll remember what we said about glycation. It was the combination of glucose, remember glyc is glucose or glycogen, so sugar, and a non-enzymatic protein, right? And they combine And we talked about how they form AGEs and how it's related to atherosclerosis yesterday, right? Or the other day. I think it actually might have been, yes, whatever. So the point is that's happening on the basement membrane, on the walls of these efferent arterioles. So what's happening? Now this efferent arteriole leaving the glomerulus is getting narrower and stiff. The walls are getting stiff and thin and thin. And this is called hyaline arteriosclerosis. So this hyaline arteriosclerosis now does not allow blood to get out as well from the glomerulus. So what happens? Body's smart, it's always adapting. So this afferent arteriole is gonna dilate. The body says, we'll send more blood there. There's a buildup of pressure, so we gotta send more blood to help the glomerulus do its job of filtering these molecules and whatnot. And so it sends more blood. And this vasodilation in concert with this constriction of the efferent arteriole causes a big increase in pressure in this glomerulus. And so what happens? Things just start to pour out, right? Something's got to give, right? So we call that an increased glomerular filtration rate. And this is the first stage of diabetic kidney disease, right? This is what we see first. Now, this is not diagnostic. It's a decrease in that GFR, but we're about to talk about how that happens. But first, we have an increase. So we have all this pressure. And what happens? Well, there's a reason we mentioned our players before, our mesangial cells and our podocytes. And if you'll remember, our mesangial cells are amongst the endothelium and the basement membrane. And what happens is they expand with all this pressure. Mesangial cell expansion, expansion, expansion. And our podocytes are on the outside. So now what happens? This membrane's, all this is expanding. It's thickening. It's thickening. It's thickening. So what do you think's going to happen to these? They get pushed further apart. They get pushed further apart. And now look at that. So I'll remove the glomerulus. And here's our podocytes, our octopus. And our foot processes of the podocytes and our filtration slits. What's happened? The foot processes move further apart. And what else? That means the filtration slits are bigger. So now those filtration slits are bigger, what's happening? Stuff is just pouring through the glomerulus. It can't filter correctly anymore, right? It can't do its job correctly anymore. And so what happens is all this crap is getting through and building up. And one thing that gets through is a protein called albumin. So I'm sure you maybe have heard of albuminuria. And it starts with microalbuminuria, a little bit micro, and then eventually becomes macroalbuminuria. But that is not the pure diagnostic thing for diabetic kidney disease, although you do see it much of the time, most of the time, right? That albuminuria. You can see albuminuria or a decreased GFR, which we're about to say how that happens. And that is diagnostic pretty much, right? And so they used to think the albuminuria came first. There's a whole thing. New studies say that you could just have a low GFR and not the albuminuria, which is interesting. But for all intents and purposes, so now everything's going through. And this glomerulus is working so hard and so much crap builds up and there's so much damage to the glomerulus, right? This expansion, the podocytes getting damaged, the podocytes die, right? And what happens? Can't filter anymore. Like every machine, like cars, biological machines fail to over time if they're overworked and malfunctioning. And so, what do we have? You have a decrease glomerular filtration rate. Now you have the GFR is decreased, or the estimated GFR is what they also call it, eGFR. And so now you have this low GFR and end-stage renal disease shortly follows, right? Because it just can't do its job anymore. Eventually it fails. And they'll need kidney dialysis, right? A machine to do the work for them of getting rid of all the toxins in their body, right? In the water and whatnot. They'll need dialysis or they'll need a kidney transplant. And so tomorrow we're going to talk about these symptoms and we're going to talk about the treatment. And I hope you got something out of it. I had fun explaining that. I think it's a fun little analogy with the hand like that, representing the glomerulus. And again, it's not to memorize any scientific stuff here. It's just, I just want to explain exactly why I'm telling you something. And I want you to know exactly why it's bad to have a lot of sugar. It's different than when you grow up and your parents just say like, don't eat sweets, don't eat, how far does that go, really? I mean, it's like, yeah, because I told you so, But we should understand why, and I think if we all understand a little bit better why, I don't fully understand, but at least, I try to research as much as I can to understand as much as I can about it, to give insight as to why we're doing these things, and maybe it'll hit home more and stick with you, So, again, tomorrow, we'll talk about some symptoms, we'll talk about some treatment. Thank you very much! Hey, Ma. Hey, again, Case and Nick, love you guys so much. I'm an uncle. Once again, I already was an uncle, but we said, my nephew Tommy was born last night, and super, super pumped about that. I can't wait to meet him. So, love you, Tommy. Love you, Case. Love you, Nick. All right, you guys, have a great rest of your day. We'll see you tomorrow. Thank you very much. Tomorrow is it HIT or is it core? I think it's HIT. See you for that.